Well, the iconic Second City has unveiled its new home at 1 York. That, of course, is near New York and Lakeshore, and it has enough capacity for 800 guests and more space for classrooms. There's also an added touch paying homage to an iconic throwback to its previous digs.
And to help celebrate the occasion is main stage graduate Colin Mockery. Colin, good morning to you. We were just chatting during that break, and I must say the new venue looks spectacular. Such an upgrade from the old location on Blue Jays Way. And the best part, 2 bars.
Yeah, no, that's important. It's beautiful. You know, I was even before Blue Jays Way when I was performing in the main stage. It was at the old fire hall. So this is so far removed from that, and yet it still has that history behind it, which is great.
How important is a venue when it comes to performing, you know, stand-up comedy, Colin? I mean, Jennifer's done it, you do it. I've never done it, but I wonder, like, what it means when you step out on stage like that, in a venue like that. What does that bring or change about your performance?
It really helps. It's such an intimate performance, especially when you're doing improv. It really helps you when you can see the audience and you can hear them clearly. And you know, Second City just has that atmosphere, that has that sense of community, which is wonderful. So it's really important to have a space that really amplifies what you're doing.
And Colin, you know, you said that you first started at the very first location, the old fire hall at Second City, and you say that, you know, once you become kind of a member of Second City, it's like a mafia and you can't get out. For some newcomer comics who want to take classes there, can they ever break into the mafia?
Oh, absolutely. The mafia is always looking for new people. It's part of being the mafia. But it's, you know, it's great. This is where you build relationships. I'm still great friends with the people I was on main stage with, and with many casts afterwards. It's such a great, it's just a great place to work. It's a great institution. It's been a part of the city for almost 50 years and still going strong.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, and it's great to have it back, right? I mean, obviously the pandemic sort of put a pause on so much live entertainment, and of course, the change of venue, of course, is significant here. So, you know, what do you make of the rebound and the rebirth, perhaps, of, you know, comedy here now at the Second City at 1 York? I mean, how important is that to Toronto to have this kind of comedic presence, I think?
Oh, absolutely important. I mean, I think through the pandemic, we realized comedy is an essential service. I mean, people were turning to their comfort sitcoms. We're watching comedy concerts. Comedy is such an important part of our life. And having Second City, well, come see the shows. You'll laugh. Yeah. It's timely. It's about everything that's happening in our world and society. And we all need a laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. And the #1 rule of improv is you have to keep saying yes. Colin, let's focus on your own career right now, because it was announced earlier in November that this upcoming 12th season of Whose Line Is It Anyway is going to be the last one. So looking at your career doing this show, how has it changed, and do you think you're going to miss it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that show was, well, it gave me a career. So, you know, thank you, Whose Line. And the fact that it didn't take a lot of time also was amazing. So it left me open to do touring and other things that came along. The thing I'll miss the most are the people, because, you know, Ryan Stiles and I have known each other for over 50 years. All the others have become really good friends. Again, a great comedy community. So I'll miss that.
Hey, can I ask you really quickly, Colin, what tickles your funny bone these days? What do you find funny?
This is very sad, but I always laugh at people in pain. If someone walks into a lamppost or something, that is the funniest thing in the world to me. Nothing will be funnier than someone hurting themselves. Not fatally, but just enough to hurt.
Yeah,
right.
I think America's Funniest Home Videos been about 25 seasons based on that premise alone.
Exactly.
Indeed. Colin Mockery,
Exactly.
Great to chat with you today. Thanks so much. Good luck with the new Second City, and thanks for sort of showing us around. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
A turkey and some mistletoe
help to make the season bright.
TSN analyst, color commentator, Raptors in-game broadcaster for 25 years, Jack Armstrong can now add recording artist to his resume with his new album, Hello, for the holidays. And we say hello and good morning to Santa's Little Helper, live from the Big Easy, New Orleans, Jack Frost Armstrong. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, George. How are you?
I'm great, man. So, Perry Como, Andy Williams, Bing, and Bowie, welcome to the Holiday Crooners Club, Jack. Give me the backstory. How did this all start?
Well, I've always loved Christmas songs, and I sing them a lot. And this is my favorite time of year. And I've been singing Christmas songs since I was probably 4th grade in Brooklyn, growing up in Brooklyn. So I just, I sing all the time during the holiday season on the broadcast. So the Comedy Records came to me a number of years ago and asked me to do this, and here I am. So I'm excited about it. And it's for charity, obviously, the MLSE Foundation and Special Olympics Canada. So it's a passion project for me. Basketball brings me joy, and so do the holidays.
Yeah, same, Jack. All three. In any given order, you know, and I hear you sing all the time. I know you got the music in you. The fact that it's for charity too is just great, right? All the proceeds from the record going to Special Olympics and the MLSE Foundation, and there's a benefit concert coming up as well, and that's happening on the 6th of December. Tell me about it.
Well, yeah, we're having a concert at the Danforth Music Hall on December 6th. So my first time doing a live concert, so I'm excited about that. A little nervous, but nonetheless, there's a few tickets still available. Tickets have been going great.
Great.
And folks want to come out, again, for a great cause. And when I look at who's played at the Danforth Music Hall over the years, it's pretty daunting. You say, wow, that's a pretty cool experience. But yeah, I'm really pumped up about it, and I've been doing rehearsals,
great.
And we have a great band, so we're ready to roll.
So who are you sharing?
I'm excited about it.
Who are you sharing the stage with, and who else is on this record?
The Comedy Records band.
Okay.
There's a group of very, very talented musicians. And two young ladies with wonderful voices, as you can tell, that are backup singers. And so for me, I'm just along for the ride.
Awesome.
So, but it's been a great experience doing this. You know, it's funny. I always enjoy, you know, meeting people from different lines of work. And when you spend time with musicians, they have the same passion that we have for sports.
That's right.
And to me, it's really cool. So again, for me, it's been a fun thing to do this, and I love the holidays, and I love singing. So here we go.
Awesome, Jack. We just have seconds left. I got to get your take though, and get you out of here on the Raptors. You're up against Zion and JV at the Pels tonight. Scotty and Spicy back. Look, they're only 5.5 back of league best Boston. I think fans, given all the injuries, they should be proud and amped up. And I think any team that discounts Toronto, they do it at their own peril.
Well, I would agree with that. I mean, you consider the fact that after 20 games a year ago, and usually you look at 20-game segments, they were 9-11 after 20 last year. They're 11-9 this year. So I think they're a little ahead of pace where we saw a year ago. And again, they've been decimated with injuries. I feel pretty comfortable where they are, and if they can stay healthy, they're going to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference.
Awesome. Jack Armstrong, the record's called Hello for the Holidays on Comedy Records. The concert's happening on the 6th of December at Danforth Music Hall. Support it so he can support these great causes, Special Olympics and MLSE Foundation. Jack, it's a pleasure. Have fun down there in New Orleans. It's a good town. Enjoy the game.
It sure is.
All right. That's
Great
Jack
to
Armstrong.
see you, George.
Good to see you, too.
It's been a busy few weeks for actor Thomas Sadowski. His latest movie, Devotion, has premiered in theaters, and more details for his Apple TV Plus series, The Crowded Room, have also been released. And he's also going to be here in Toronto for War Child's Gala on December the 5th, this Saturday. Thomas Sadowski is a fundraising ambassador for War Child in both Canada and the United States, and chair of this year's gala, along with his wife, Amanda Seyfried. And as I mentioned, taking place this Saturday at the ROM. And we welcome live to the show now actor Thomas Sadowski. Thomas, thanks so much for joining us from New York this morning. Let's talk about, you know, your involvement with War Child, because you and your wife became ambassadors in 2018. I know that you say when it comes to acting, there wasn't this pivotal moment where you thought, this is what I want to do for life. But what happened in terms of wanting to help War Child?
You know, it was that was sort of a white light moment for me, being introduced to the organization and really starting to understand how impactful it is and in what a revolutionary and extraordinary way. It became an undeniable sort of meeting of minds and meeting of souls. The fact that the organization employs about 95% of its staff is local to the conflict region that it's working to support, is frankly entirely revolutionary in the NGO sphere, and it's something that is really pretty profound. And it was a no-brainer to support them as much as I possibly could.
And it's not just War Child. I understand that you're also on the board of directors with another charitable organization that provides medical care to, children refugees impacted by war as well. But let's talk about, why it's so personal to you. You have a daughter, Nina. How has that really changed the lens through which you see all this when you're doing this work?
Becoming parents was really, as everybody says, it's sort of the moment that your heart migrates to the outside of your body. And, parenthood was that moment for me in which a lot of the world sort of became recontextualized, and seeing the suffering of children, knowing that there's ways that we can have an immediate and profound impact on their lives moving forward, and truly believing that positive change in their young lives can make for lasting change and significant change in the world moving forward is really what drew us in. We are pretty unapologetic about the fact that we believe more in the in the future of kids given the right tools than we believe in the ability of adults to make the best decisions as it stands right now. So we're definitely looking to support these kids in terms of getting the education that they need, finding the safety and the opportunities that they need in order to create the world that is possible for them.
And Thomas, we can't have this conversation without talking about art. You're a person who believes art is best experienced in person in the theater. In fact, you and your wife kind of disagree about, going to movies because she likes them and you don't particularly love going to the movies. You find that, you're just being spoon-fed messages these days by advertisers, and how you act gets cut out by editors. So talk about why, you want art that doesn't allow people room to hide, and how that relates to your work with War Child.
I think that the immediacy of the human connection that happens in the theater is about as clean a discussion as you're likely to have between artist and audience, uninterrupted, unimpeded by commerce. And I think that part of what draws me to the charitable work that I do, particularly, with an organization like War Child, is that it's a clean, it's a clean connection between the person who is giving so generously of their hard-earned money and their time, and a connection to these kids who women and children who so desperately need this help. And the ability to be present unapologetically, the ability to hear things, see things, be present for things that make you uncomfortable, have difficult conversations. This is part of being an adult. And I particularly love being part of adult art, meaning art that challenges people, challenges you to think a little bit differently or to see things from a different perspective than you maybe had before. And that discomfort is a place of growth. And so to be able to put ourselves in a situation, particularly with an organization like War Child, where to face up to the suffering of these kids is something that is tremendously uncomfortable, but so essential in terms of us being able to help this generation that could potentially be lost because of conflict. We're talking about 100 million people displaced, the most any time in history, talking about kids who are facing levels of famine that really have, unlike anything that we've seen, almost biblical levels of it. And, we need to be having these difficult conversations across party lines, across whatever, philosophies we think that we hold dear, to cut to the real truth of the matter, which is that humanity matters and these kids deserve a chance, and that we can, as a collective, regardless of our differences, come together to create a world that is better for these kids and allow them the tools to create this world for themselves.
Absolutely. And some of that coming together will happen this Saturday, December 5th, the World Child Gala. Honorary Chair Thomas Sadowski, an actor. Thanks so much for joining us on Breakfast. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Talent-driven, bespoke, small enough to care, but big enough to break an act like yours. You're unique, and I want to represent you.
Fisherman's Friends, the musical, is a feel-good voyage about friendship and community and music, and it's anchored at the Royal Alex Theatre through the 15th of January. And here to sing a high C, well, for the high C's, I don't know if we can hit that today, is John Cleave, one of the founding members of the Fisherman's Friends. John, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming on the show.
A pleasure to be here.
It's good to see you. Look, to quote the Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been for you and your mates, right? The backstory of the Fisherman's Friends, this is what legends are made of. This is why it makes such great art and such a great story, but it always comes back to the music, right?
It does.
How is it that fishing songs connected with people and have, of all ages, from all walks of life around this planet?
I think it's their fishing songs, their work songs, and they weren't actually written, most of them. Most of them just evolved over time. And in these big crews of men that they used to have on these sailing vessels, you would have people from all different parts of the world. So, for instance, in Moby Dick on the Pequod, there were sort of over 20 nationalities on there, from Native Americans to Africans to Polynesians, Dutch, Scandinavian, American, and each culture would bring their own little bit to the songs and then spread around the world, sail around the world, and the sailors would then hop off and take the songs with them to other ships where they would meet other crews. So it was over the course of about 3 or 4 years, the songs would go around the world. Unlike now with TikTok, it went global right away, you know?
Yeah. So it's really in the DNA, right? I mean, this is multicultural mosaic. It's right there in the planet. Sort of, you know, it's this gumbo. It all comes together in the music. You know, so this story has gone from stage to page to screen to stage again. And it's been a bittersweet journey, right? Because you've lost some mates along the way.
We have. We had a tragedy when we were touring, I think 10 years ago, in a theatre near London, and the stage door collapsed, and one of our founder members was killed. As was our tour manager. And that was a massive blow, you can well imagine. You know, they were personal friends. And we stopped singing for about 12 months after that. Did various things to keep ourselves, but then we sort of wondered how they would have felt about us stopping singing, and we sort of came to the conclusion, do you know what, they'd have wanted us to go on, and so we did.
Has music ever let you down?
No. Music lifts the spirit, doesn't it? Music makes you happy. Music is good for your health, you know, and it's good for camaraderie, it's good for community, and there's nothing finer than to get a bunch of people together to sing. I love it.
And what's seafaring life like now for Cornish fishermen, or, you know, any small village fishermen across the UK, anywhere that you've been? I mean, as commercial fishing, is, you know, all of that sort of changed the culture forever? Yeah,
there's mostly around where we are, it's crab and lobster fishing, which is what Jeremy and Jason, who are in the band here today, do. Jeremy's just retired from doing that. He's I think, 5th generation fisherman. His son now fishes in his old boat, and Jeremy takes people for trips around the bay now. All aboard the Skylark, you know.
John Cleave, it's been a pleasure to speak with you. And here's the great treat for everyone watching. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, you're going to get to hear the Fisherman's Friends in studio live, including John.
Big enough to break an act like yours. You're unique, and I want to represent you.
Fisherman's Friends runs at the Royal Alexandra Theatre through January 15th. Tickets and information, simply go to mervish.com. You're in for a treat now, folks, because here to perform, John Kanaka are the Fisherman's Friends. Take it away, lads.
I thought I heard the old man say,
John Kanaka Naka Tulai.
Today it's a holiday.
John Kanaka Naka Tulai. Tulai, oh, Tulai. John Kanaka Naka Tulai.
We'll work tomorrow, but no work today.
John Kanaka Naka Tulai.
We'll work tomorrow and we'll earn our pay.
John Kanaka Naka Tulai. Tulai, oh, Tulai.
Junkanaka-Tulay. We're bound away at the break of day. Junkanaka-Tulay. We're bound away for Whitefish Bay. Junkanaka-Tulay. Tulay, oh, Tulay. Junkanaka-Tulay. Them whitefish girls ain't got no combs. Junkanaka-Tulay. They comb their hair with a herring backbone. Junkanaka-Tulay. Tulay, oh, Tulay. Junkanaka-Tulay. Just one more heave and that'll do. Junkanaka-Tulay. For we're the crew to pull her through. Junkanaka-Tulay.
People started doing other things. Oh, oh God. Oh my God. I gotta go.
You want Giselle to change your diaper?
Oh my God. Nanny, Daisy, we need help.
All right, well, this can be any mother's worst nightmare, but for those on the Real Housewives series, this can literally be child play. So mother, housewife, business owner, yoga enthusiast, and entrepreneur, of course, Ashley Darby, the star, the backbone of Hey You's, the Real Housewives of Potomac, takes it all with Grace, and she joins us live in the studio this morning. Ashley, great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be in the studio.
Yeah, welcome to Toronto. So first of all, tell us why you're in our lovely city.
So I'm here with Thirst Media because I'm hosting a yoga class with Lululemon on Saturday at the Bisha Hotel. So excited to connect with my yogis, and then we have a fun meet and greet afterward.
Awesome. That sounds like a great event. I know that season 7 of the show is coming up. It looks a bit spicy, and there's been things that happen. Obviously, you and your husband, Michael, announced that you're splitting back in April of this year, but you're getting back on the horse quickly. I don't mean that in any literal or figurative way, but you're dating again. Luke Goldbranson. He's on another Bravo reality show. So are the worlds going to collide in season 7?
You know, it's pretty early on for Luke and I. We really are friends. We met at BravoCon, which was in October. So it's pretty fresh. But so far, yeah, we talk every day. We're hanging out. You know, it's progressing. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he looks like a nice guy, and the chemistry between you guys seems real.
It is.
Let's talk about your children as well. We saw that moment in that video where I think the baby was, what, pooing out of its diaper?
Yeah, he was a newborn, and, you know, newborns, they do 3 things, and that's one of them.
Yes, so you have Dylan is your youngest, and Dean. For a mom, you kind of say that, you know, being a mom, you love it and it suits you. But is there ever a time where you're like, no, motherhood, this is the worst, it sucks? Do you have any of those moments ever?
I mean, I don't think it's the worst, but it's certainly challenging. It's very hard. I've had mastitis, I had postpartum depression. So I have seen a pretty full spectrum of motherhood, but ultimately my kids just, when they smile at me and they laugh at me, it's just like, it all melts away. So that really is the reminder of why I'm doing this.
Yeah, okay. And you also recently made a really beautiful tribute saying that you're grateful for each and every one of your Real Housewives castmates.
I am.
So do you think that evolved over time? Was there ever a person in the beginning that you didn't like?
Okay, I didn't say I like everybody. I said I'm grateful for them. You know, some word choices there but ultimately we are on this journey together, whether our personalities clash or we mesh. I am thankful for them. They've all helped me to grow. This journey, since I started almost 8 years ago now, I've changed so much as a person. I've grown. I really have come into my own skin. So I'm thankful for all of the ups and the downs and the all-arounds that I have.
Yeah. And is there ever a moment that you wish the cameras weren't rolling?
No. When I signed up for the show, I knew that was what I was going to get. You know, I watched Real Housewives of Orange County where Vicki got the news that her mom had passed away. So to see people being so raw, so vulnerable, I knew that if I was going to come on this platform, I had to do the same thing.
Yeah. All your cards are on the table. You don't get to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And Ashley, before we let you go, what are you wishing for this holiday season?
Honestly, I'm wishing this is my first holiday as a single lady for the last 11 years, almost 12 years, right?
Okay.
So I'm just hoping that I adapt and I mesh and my kids have a good holiday, even though they're going to be in 2 different places. So that everything is just smooth and cohesive.
Yes,
pray for
I think
that.
we're all hoping for a smooth, kind of stable ride.
Yeah.
And I think your fans are hoping that you put out more music. Is that coming up anytime soon? Because Coffee and Love was so catchy.
Yes, I love doing Coffee and Love. There's definitely much more to me. I love music so much, different genres. So I may dip and dabble a little bit soon.
And you can dance because your TikTok videos are fire.
Oh,
so
thank
you
you.
already kind of have that triple threat going on, right?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. I mean, I might be coming at you soon with a TikTok, an original.
Okay, we'll be watching out for that. Ashley Darby, such a pleasure chatting with you. Welcome to Toronto and have fun at your event.
Thank you.
Thank you.